That's right, Ken Workington. Thank you very much. And yes, indeed, we are in the Sulky with Chris Ryder. What was the name of that horse you won the turf race here with?
Tough question. Oneiden Legacy.
That's right, Oneiden Legacy. And boy, did I miss the boat on that one, because you entered him every time we carted that turf race. And it was rained out twice. We couldn't race on the turf. And was I smart enough to bet back the third time? No. And you blew by him in the stretch. But that horse had raced on the grass before, and so had you.
Yes, I took a look at his record, and there was one track or two tracks where he had raced, and I was pretty sure it doesn't stipulate whether they raced on the grass or the stone dust, but I'm pretty sure it was on the grass. So
day late and $1 short. Story of my handicapping life. Hey, what's the update on Put on a Show? Your Dan Patch champion 3-year-old filly. We understand she's going to race again this year.
Yeah, we're bringing her back to race. Everything's good with her. She's been in the barn about 2.5 weeks, and was turned out in Kentuckiana in Lexington, and she's doing really well, and we're just looking forward to getting her back in top shape.
Well, we just saw her winning the Breeders' Crown at Pocono, and she was good early on. She was good late in the year. Just a fantastic filly. How do you think she'll adapt, though, at age 4 against the older mares?
Obviously, it's a question that she'll answer when we get up against the older mares. But honestly, we're confident. Otherwise, we wouldn't have brought her back. She showed versatility last year, and like I say, it remains to be seen, but we're confident.
And you might have to beat her sister, Show Her the Money, who's a good older mare that they shelled out a lot of cash for at Harrisburg. Well, Chris, tonight marks a milestone for the Meadowlands and for harness racing in North America. For the first time ever, we're sending our signal to Australia and New Zealand. The races will be broadcast on Sky Racing 2. That's the channel they're on down under. Separate pool wagering on Thursdays and Saturdays, which is actually Friday and Sunday mornings down under. And you've done both. You've been racing here in the United States for quite some time. You also raced horses down under. What are some of the biggest differences that the down under players will see here?
It's the biggest differences. I think they'll like it. I think they'll appreciate the fact that it's a mile. I think they'll see more consistency, being the same distance every start. They'll see more consistency with having pretty much the same drivers every race. Hopefully, they'll get to know the drivers, they'll get to know the trainers. I think it'll be fairly interesting. I hope it's a success, but, it'll be interesting to see how they handle it and how much money comes in.
Now, in North America, the catch drivers dominate. The Tim Tetricks, the Brian Sears, especially here at the Meadowlands. Is that the same down under, or do a lot of the trainers still drive their own horses?
A lot of trainers still drive their own horses, but pretty much once you get up into the stronger races, we call them catch drivers, but they got their steady stream of leading drivers that they dominate the major races.
And speed is the name of the game in harness racing in North America. Is the emphasis on speed in Australia and New Zealand as well, or more stamina?
It's more, I look at it a little differently. Some of the down under guys think that American racing is just speed, as you'd call it. But, when you're training a horse, they got to have not only speed, they got to have stamina as well, because you go in every quarter 27, 28 seconds. These horses got to have stamina. The down under races, the longer distance, so they back off the middle halves quite a lot, but they still got to have speed. They come quarters in 27, etc. So it's not just a matter of endurance.
Well, it should be very interesting to see how this test goes. They'll be taking the racing during February and March, again, as we mentioned, on Thursdays and Saturdays. I guess the biggest question is Australia and New Zealand ready for a steady diet of Hollywood Hayden? That could be tough to stomach over there, especially in the morning, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to criticise Hollywood. We all love them. I'm sure they'll fall in love with them just the way everybody has here.
Especially if he picks some winners, that's for sure. And speaking of winners, you get a few horses in tonight that we want to get the lowdown on. Starting in the first race, you've got the trotter, number 2, Cousin Rob. What happened to him that he missed the entire 2010 season?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a shame. He was okay as a 2-year-old, even though he didn't win any races, but he showed a little bit of talent. He basically tore a suspensory out in the field, running up and down like a wild little guy he is, and it cost him a lot of time. But we've got it healed up. It's okay now, and he's back racing.
Now, he had the couple starts in the Super Bowl. He raced better in leg 2 than race 1. Is he still rounding into shape, or what do you think of his chances tonight?
I like his chances tonight. I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that he's going to win or anything, but I basically expect him to hit the board, and I think as the weeks go by and he races, he will improve, because coming back from an injury, I really didn't give him much speed training. So, there's reasons why he'll improve.
Fourth race, junior trendsetter action. You got number 4, Cobalt Man. He was a $67,000 yearling. Brother to some good ones. I think Blue Rock is his full brother. Forensic Z-Tam, a half brother, made $1 million. Were you happy with his qualifiers?
No, not really. He's an okay horse, but he hasn't understood his breeding yet. So he's a big, handsome horse, a good moving horse, and I think he's got potential. But he's never going to be a top of the line horse, and I'm just looking for him to be, just to be somewhat competitive, and he's going to have to race into shape a little bit as well.
Now, why did he miss a couple weeks between the qualifiers?
Well, we had him at the qualifiers here the second week, and he was standing there and he blew up with a big leg, and it turned out he had a bad skin rash right on his tendon, which was basically good news. So he's okay, but he just had this skin infection for about 4 or 5 days, which cost us a week or 10 days there.
All right, perhaps the horse that has the best chance of winning from your barn tonight is in the 5th race, number 7, I'm Feeling Good, by Mr. Feel Good, who's been great down under as well as here in the United States, and I really liked his debut. Never really had enough room in the stretch, did he?
No, just talking to Brian afterwards, he said that the horse didn't have enough room, and he was happy with him. He had pace, so he went in 52, and I was really happy with the horse, and he gives us no reason for concern. He's training well, and he's a horse we're just looking to race, and he's a handy horse. He's a nice little horse.
And then in the 6th race, division of the Tender Loving Care, you've got number 8, Always in My Heart. I thought she was just fair in her debut. Maybe didn't get around the last turn as well as she could have.
Andy said she was very green, and I thought Andy was a little green pulling the first up, to be honest. But I don't think he'll mind me saying that. So he's not allowed to do that tonight. He's going to trip her out, and I have a little confidence in her. She'll improve as she gets the starts, but she's okay horse.
All right, well, Chris Ryder with 4 in tonight. We wish you the best of luck. Anybody special watching down under you want to say hello to?
Well, obviously my mother and father. My father had more than a week, maybe 3 weeks in the hospital. I went home to see him just before Christmas. He took a turn for the worst, and but he's improved a lot. He's home now and he's doing really well. So got to say hi to Mum and Dad, and you may see me wave in the winner's circle. That's what I'm waving at.
Well, that would be the best medicine that he could have after recovering from that stay in the hospital. Chris Ryder, thanks so much for joining us. Best of luck tonight. Hollywood Hayden waiting in the wings when we return, so stay tuned.
Thank you.